Good morning all, and welcome to this Thursday morning live in Adelaide, South Australia. I'd love to know wherever you are right now when you're watching, whether watching the live or replay, come say hi, because I love it from the bottom of my heart to know that you've been here, that you've watched this, and if this video has helped you in any way, and just to connect with you, right? It doesn't matter if you can be here live or if it's the replay. Just let me know where you're from and what brings you to this video and what you want to see more of, right? Because this community is about supporting you with what you want to see more of and what you need in that moment, right? And that's what I do with my clients, is what I treat everyone as a unique individual, because we're all so different, right? So what do you need right now? Hi Jules, thanks for watching. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you need right now? Use a unique individual and know that that's okay. You're not going to need the same as everyone else, as we're all different, and that's okay. It's not selfish. It's not that you're selfish. It's not that you're too high demanding or anything like that. It's about recognizing that you're a unique individual and that that's okay, and that you can voice your needs and your concerns and what you need support with in that moment, because we're all different, right? And we need different things in different, times of our life, right? And even around like our cycle and everything like that, we need different things in that time as well. Hi Caitlin, thanks for watching. So for those that are new here, my name is Zoe Jean. So I am an anxiety and NLP practitioner, helping women to heal their anxiety from all over the world, focusing on the Rewrite Your Anxiety method, which includes mindset work, body connection work, nervous system regulation, and habits. So all four of those are crucial in your healing journey, because you need to rewire the programs in your subconscious mind for long-term results. Otherwise, your subconscious mind will keep self-sabotaging you. You obviously need to build a deep connection with your body so you can pick up on the signs and signals of stress, anxiety, depression, whatever it is in its early stages, so you can regulate your emotions and your nervous system, come back to a place of peace and calm and safety. And with nervous system regulation, right, it's really important to regulate your nervous system and get yourself in the window of tolerance. And then from there, it's about widening that window of tolerance, because the longer you're in a dysregulated state, the smaller that window of tolerance gets. So the less everyday life stresses that you can handle without it spiraling out of control. Like when I was stuck in a dysregulated state, like the slightest thing would move around me, or a leaf or something would fall off a tree and I'd jump and freak out. It's because my nervous system was so dysregulated, right? And if someone tapped me on the shoulder, I'd jump and, freak out as well. And now someone does it and I'm fine, right? Because I'm in a regulated state. So my window of tolerance is widened, so I can handle lots of things without it making me freak out and think I'm unsafe and that I have to run away or fight or go into a panic or whatever I used to feel that I had to do, and that a lot of us feel that we have to do. And then obviously habits are really important as well, right? Because everything we do is based off habits. So it's about, recognizing what your current habits are and which ones are serving you and which ones are not serving you. And the ones that aren't serving you, the so-called negative habits, are still serving you in one way. They're still giving you some type of reward. That's why you're doing it. So it's about recognizing what new habit can give you that same reward, and then removing the negative habit. Hi Susie, hi Barb, thanks for watching. So last week I talked about, some of the steps to creating success. And today I wanted to do part 2 and like some steps to implement to kind of bring you closer to that success. So, I bang on about it a lot, but, step 1 really is just getting super, super crystal clear on exactly where you are and where you want to be. Because again, you can't get from A to B unless you currently know where you are, where you are at A and where you want to go at B. And again, so many of us don't allow ourselves to know where we want to go, because we feel it's so impossible, that we're stuck in our old habits, that it will never happen, that we'll get our hopes up and everything like that. So quite often we don't allow ourselves to see where we want to go. Or we're so stuck in our head and so dysregulated that we don't actually have the capacity to think about where we want to go. We're just so stuck in that survival state that all we can think about is, what's about to go wrong next? What's about to happen? Where do I have to jump next? Like we're just stuck in that cycle that it's hard. Like noticing where you want to go feels impossible, right? And if that's you, that's where this Rewrite Your Anxiety method could really really support you if you complete that whole method. I do have options with my sessions, such as Barb that's here. She just did 6 weeks with me. But if you want like the full process, the full Rewrite Your Anxiety method to heal your anxiety, then it is the 12-week program. And then, you know, step 2 is about recognizing the gap between, you know, where you currently are, and where you want to be, right? So there's a space between where you currently are and where you want to be. So it's about knowing how to close that gap between the two, which is really, really hard to do, on your own. And especially, you know, quite often, you know, we can be good at helping other people at times, but when it comes to, you know, our own lives, there's so much stuff that we miss out on, that we don't observe, that we don't know, like, and, you know, we judge ourselves really critically and we don't see certain things. So it's very hard to kind of do that on your own. And that's why support really comes in handy, right? Because if we could all heal on our own, there'd be no such thing as mental illnesses. So maybe, you know, you've been doing all the things, trying to close that gap yourself, but nothing seems to working, then maybe it's time to get some support. Or even just, you know, journal down, you know, everything that you currently want and where you currently are, and just see if you can even start to implement yourself to see maybe what's one thing that can bring me closer to where I want to go and move me further away from where I don't want to be. Like, look at your current habits and that are keeping you stuck in your current reality. And then number 3, which I sort of just touched on a little bit there, is creating goals to get you from A to B. And the goals that I love to focus on are 3 yearly, like 3 goals to complete within the year, and then 3 6-month goals and 3 90-day goals. And then I also do weekly goals as well. And I feel like where a lot of people sometimes go wrong with goals as well, it's like, again, you're too scared to write certain things down because it feels impossible, like it's not going to happen, like it's a too big of a jump, so you don't bother writing it down. Maybe you write down something really simple. But that's like, it's not about whether you 100% tick off every goal that you write down, even if it does feel a little bit extreme, and not possible. If it's like a big jump from where you currently are, still write it down, because it's still good for your subconscious mind and to give you something to, you know, work towards. And it makes you take more action if you write it down, despite it maybe not being able to come soon that quickly, if that makes sense. Like, I have, as I said, I do weekly goals, and I quite often don't make all my goals, but I'm okay with that because I'm still working towards it every week. You know, if I don't make it one week, I'll write it down for the next week and keep doing it until I hit that goal. So yeah, it's okay to write down goals even if they don't come, even if you don't achieve them in that time limit that you set. And that's why, again, it's so important to do the yearly goals, the 90-day goals and the weekly goals, so you can keep breaking it down to make it as simple and simpler to implement and create. And then, you know, step 4 is about calling in support from, you know, a coach like myself, or from a counselor, from a therapist, or whatever sort of support that you want. It's just about finding that right support for you. Because again, recognizing that you're a unique individual, what works for you won't work for everyone. Or even see multiple people for support, right? I've had a few clients that have seen myself plus seen a therapist, and, you know, they've found us both helpful. So it's about, you know, finding what works for you. Maybe you want, multiple support from different people, and knowing that, for example, myself, I work different from a therapist, and maybe there's certain things that a therapist does that's helpful for you, and there's certain things that myself does that's helpful for you, because, you know, we work differently. So just find the right support for you, or find the multiple supports, whatever you need in that moment, and know that that's okay. And then, you know, step 5 is releasing, you know, whatever is holding you back from achieving your goals, whether that's a negative emotion such as fear, anger, sadness, whether it's limiting belief of I'm not good enough to achieve that, or I'm too dumb, or I can't trust myself, or I don't have time for myself, I have to put others first all the time. It's about really releasing that negative emotion or limiting belief that is holding you back, because if that's your subconscious mind belief, that is going to hold you back until you're able to release it, no matter how much you consciously try and tell yourself that you're over that belief or that emotion that you're going to achieve your goal, you know, no matter what, and you're going to think positively, and you're just going to think you're just going to think positively until you achieve it. It's not going to happen, because your subconscious mind will always come back and self-sabotage you, because our subconscious mind doesn't like to make us a liar. So whatever it believes to be true, it makes that happen. So it's pretty much like we're a servant to our subconscious mind, right? Because whatever that believes, that is what it's going to create. So it's really important to actually work out what beliefs and negative emotions are holding you back, so you can release them, right? Like some of you might know, like my top negative emotions were definitely sadness, fear, and anger. And I guess when it comes to fear and anger, for example, I feel like they are quite common in anxious people, right? Especially someone like me. It's like I wouldn't, you know, hit someone, so my fight response was anger, getting angry in my tone of voice and coming across scary in that way, I guess. And fear, right? Anxiety comes with a lot of fear. And then sadness was there as well. And then the top limiting beliefs for me for like being ugly, dumb, worthless, and so much more. And that, like, being dumb, that really held me back a lot. So doing this right now, like, still in a way feels impossible compared to like what old Zoe, right? She'd be like, what? I can't do that. You know, so it's just crazy what's possible after you release these negative emotions and limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And then step 6 is just about starting to take action, right? And even just start small and just start with one way to implement action, you know. So if you've got a goal of stretching more, for example, just start, you know, with 5 minutes a day and find a time to do that 5 minutes a day. And if that's all you can do, that's okay. Just aim to do that exact amount, that small amount, 5 minutes every day. And overall, the compound effect will be that you will get better and better as you go. And it's going to make a long-term change. Like where a lot of us go wrong is we want to see results straight away. So if we don't see results straight away, we end up giving up or thinking it's not working. We move on to something else, or we think that we failed. But we're not meant to see results straight away. And that's the compound effect. Like you just do a little bit every day and you'll notice results later on. You just have to know that it takes time and that that's okay, and be patient with that, right? Like, I'm not going to lie. Like I get like that sometimes with my business if things aren't going exactly the way that I want them to go. But I'm like, no, compound effect. I'm working away daily, doing what I can, still having my rest when I need it, but working most days. And I know that compound effect is going to come back to me when I keep working away and when I don't give up, even during the hard times. So it's really important to keep going. And for example, I don't know if anyone relates to this, but yeah, as a woman, right? Sometimes when, you know, you get into the state of emotional eating, you start to eat a little bit more, and to begin with, you think you're getting away with it, right? But it's the same thing, that compound effect. Eventually you end up with all this extra weight and you're like, where did this come from? So that's an example of the compound effect. Like you don't notice the little changes daily until you've been doing it for ages, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, where did all this extra weight come from? So yeah, that's just an example of how, you know, the compound effect works. So just know that, yeah, if you want to succeed, it's really important to, you know, start small so you don't overwhelm yourself, and just start on one small action and do that daily. And eventually you will notice that compound effect. And you might even find that, say, if you set yourself a goal of, say, 5 minutes of stretching, if that's something you want to work towards, you might find you end up doing more than that. You might end up doing half an hour or even 10 minutes, because we're more likely to do something for longer if we don't put too much pressure on ourselves. Like if we set 5 minutes, we're more likely to end up doing half an hour. But say if we set ourselves an hour, we're probably likely to do 5 minutes or nothing, because we're like, oh, an hour, can't we bother doing that? Or I'm not going to be good enough. So yeah, really just set a small goal, and you might be surprised that you might, you know, do way more than what you actually set for yourself. And then, you know, step 7 is creating a plan for when things don't go to plan. So, you know, maybe you might think if one day you don't do your your new habit or your new action, you might think, oh my God, I failed, I give up, I have to start again, or I have to find a different habit, and you just really put yourself down, right? Instead of doing that, create a plan of what you're going to do for when that happens. If you do have a day off, or if something goes wrong, maybe a family situation happens, or something at work happens, you have to work extra hours, or whatever it is that maybe stops you from doing it a day. Just start to create a plan to know that it's okay to get back on track, even if you miss a day, right? And I love the saying, if you miss a day, that's fine, but don't miss a day twice. Have that as a motto. I might miss a day, but I won't miss a day twice. So you won't miss a day twice in a row. And that can help you also, get back on the bad wagon and just have that plan. So you know that it's okay. I missed a day, but that's okay. I can get back on track the next day. I don't have to give up. I don't have to feel like I failed. I don't have to put myself down and self-sabotage myself. So really just write yourself down, whatever feels good for you, to help you have that motivation to keep going despite maybe having a day or so off. And then number 8 is just surround yourself with like-minded people, right? Like, don't underestimate the power of who you spend your time with. And I'd love for you to let me know in the comments if anyone else has noticed this, that when you're around a certain person, do you ever notice that you eventually start saying the same words that they say? Because I've noticed that multiple times. So that's a clear indicator of how powerful who you spend your time around is. Because quite often, if you spend your time around someone enough, you will repeat their words. Like, I repeat a lot of my business coach's words. And, a person that I was working with, she used to say all these silly catchphrases, and then I would repeat all of those. And then something else I was repeating, and I didn't know that it came from her, but apparently it did. So, sometimes you'll be aware that you're repeating what other people do, but then other times you're not, right? Because your subconscious mind just hears it enough that it starts automatically doing it. So again, that's how powerful our subconscious mind is. It's doing all these things in the background. Quite often we're not aware of it. So it's really important to get aware of that by having that support to actually access your unconscious mind, your subconscious mind, to create those changes. So it's actually working with you instead of against you. Because obviously our subconscious mind wants the best for us, right? It doesn't want us to fail. It doesn't want us to be miserable or anything like that. But it thinks it's helping us because it's serving us in the way that it's making our beliefs and our beliefs of ourselves, of others in the world come true. So it thinks it's helping us because it's not making us lie. But if our beliefs of ourselves, others in the world are really negative and deserving, then it's still going to make them come true, right? So make your subconscious mind work with you by doing the work to debunk whatever is holding you back in there, whatever negative emotions, limiting beliefs are. And if anyone's confused about what a limiting belief is, basically it's a belief that you believed about yourself or about other people, about the world, that's not actually true and is holding you back. Like maybe you believe the world's a bad place, or people are always mean or rude, or maybe you believe that you're dumb, right? They're all sort of limiting beliefs. But obviously everyone's got their own limiting beliefs, but there also are some that are obviously quite common as well. And then number 9 is to celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself and focus on what's working as opposed to what's not working, right? Like, even when I first did this work with a life coach, like the reprogramming of the subconscious mind, that's all she helped me with, right? She didn't help me with the habits. She didn't help me with the body connection or the nervous system works. That's why after that work, I would still find myself jumping at the slightest thing and not knowing how to connect to my body and not knowing how to create positive habits. So I was still struggling because I only had one part of the process. So that's also why I created the Rewrite Your Anxiety method. So you get everything you need. So you're not still struggling because you've only had support with one area. So you're not having to see 50 million different coaches or people to get support from. Plus, after just seeing her, I wasn't able to celebrate myself. Like, I would still heavily focus on the negatives and what was going wrong and not being where I want to be. But I quickly learned after starting with my business coach how freaking powerful it is to celebrate ourselves and to focus on what's working. And then that creates more things to work and go right. Because when we feel good about ourselves, we vibrate on a different energy, on a different frequency, and we're more likely to, do well and show up well and attract better things into our life. So it's so important to focus on what is working and what you can celebrate. Like, I love myself. I have my own celebration list. And I also tell my clients to create a celebration list as well and really heavily focus on celebrating everything that's going right, and do that daily if you can. Because the more you do it, the stronger that muscle will get and the more good things that will come into your life. And then number 10 was just about being willing to take risks, right? Because life is always going to be full of risks, and essentially pretty much anything new is a risk, right? Because it's unfamiliar, it's unknown to us, and our subconscious mind likes to be familiar and likes to know what's going on. So anything that's not familiar, that's not known, that's new, it's going to feel like a risk. But if you want to create your dream life, if you want to heal, if you don't want to be stuck just surviving instead of thriving, you need to be able to take risks. And that's and be okay with that, right? And just know that whatever happens, that you will be okay, right? And have that support around you to support you when it comes to taking risks. And when you start taking risks, you can start minor, right? It can just be like, you don't have to go from doing nothing to this massive, massive risk of quitting your job, for example, to go to another job without actually having another job, and then not having that security that money's coming in, right? It doesn't have to be a massive risk like that, but just see how you can take like small other minor risks to start building that, that safety and that awareness that it's okay, that you're safe. And it can also really help if you have something that you believe in, for example, that helps support you to know that I'm going to be okay no matter what. Even if this doesn't work out, I will be okay. I will be able to get through it. For example, that's the universe in me. I know that the universe always has my back and is always looking out for me. And I even have a recording on my phone, right, of all the proof that the universe has my back, and that, I'm going to be okay no matter what, right? And that helps me when it comes to taking new risks in my life and in my business. So yeah, I really invite you to do the same, whether you believe in the universe as well, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in any other spiritual thing. Really take the time to use that to also help you and support you on your journey of creating success and taking those risks, right? So yeah, I'd love to know everyone's thoughts on that. If those steps feel, if those steps make sense, and if you're open to doing that on your own, or whether that feels a little bit confronting at the moment and you still don't really know where to start. If anyone would like some support, feel free to comment below me. Or send me a message. I'll be happy to support you on this, because I know it can be a little bit overwhelming to begin with. And as well, if you don't have that person to support you and that accountability, it can be really hard to create these results. And when, we're so stuck in our heads and fixated, like we don't see a lot of things that other people see. So it can be really beneficial to get that support, but even just start on your own. But if you want support to at least work out, where you currently are, where you want to be, and that gap between the two, feel free to have a free call with me to work that out. And then at the very least at that call, you'll have some steps and actions in place to help you get towards your goals. And if you want more, we can do more, but there's no obligation to have more either. But yeah, if anyone, it does feel like they're stuck and they really want that success, they really want to create their dream life, then why not book a free call, right? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You get at least tools and tips to help you move forward on your journey, or you possibly get the support from me to heal your anxiety, to heal your anxiety and finally move past where you are right now, where you're stuck, where maybe you're stuck in intrusive thoughts, where you're stuck in feeling negative all the time, unsafe in your body, feeling like your body's your worst enemy, trying to, trying to control situations, feeling stuck and like no one understands you, like no one cares, or however you're feeling, you don't need to feel that way anymore. And I am here to support you. And that's why I created the Rewrite Your Anxiety method. So don't be afraid. There's no silly questions. It's just support and connection and going at your own pace, right? No judgment from me. I could tell you all the stories under the sun about all the things that that I've done. And I hope that if I tell you that would show you that there's no reason to judge yourself, because I'm not going to judge you. And we've all done bad shit in our time. We've all done silly stuff in our time. So, you know, no judgment, right? And again, like everything we do is for a reason due to those subconscious mind beliefs. So instead of putting yourself down or not getting support because you're embarrassed about maybe things that you've done, just know that it's because of your current conditioning and programming, and it doesn't make you a bad person. And it actually makes you so much stronger to reach out for support when you need it. I absolutely love when people have the courage to reach out for support, because it just makes you so much stronger. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining. If you have any questions, message me, comment below. Just comment below me. And I can send you a message from there, and I'll also put a link in if anyone does want to book that free call, so you can take another step forward on your healing journey and just have some steps in place to start creating your dream life, to help you implement these steps so you can finally create the life that you need, that you want. And just know that it's never too late, right? Like one of my clients now, we've done 2 sessions together, and she's in her 70s. So just go show you it's never too late to get support. Never too late, never too early. You can have been suffering from anxiety and depression for 70 years and still get support, right? So don't think it's too late, you're too broken, it's too hard. It's never too late, right? All you have to do is be willing to say yes and go all in, right? That's all. And then the rest gets to be easy because I get to support you and be with you every step of the way. So thank you all so much for joining, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.